The Grand Rapids Griffins clinched the Central Division while receiving key players from the Detroit Red Wings.
Welcome to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast.
Welcome back to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. We are a podcast brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network, and we are sponsored by DraftKings. I'm one of your hosts, Connor.
I'm the other host, Kyle. We're a show by fans, for fans. We are not officially partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins or Detroit Red Wings. We are season ticket members, and we watch a lot of Grand Rapids Griffins hockey, follow them throughout the season. We love the pipeline system. So we love bringing Grand Rapids Griffins news to the forefront, and them being that they've clinched the Central Division probably faster than any team in the AHL. It's been impressive season so far.
Yeah, we've just got our 6th Central Division championship in franchise history. So this is the fastest it's been done. Amazing job by this team and Dan Watson for getting this crew together and making this happen. Now we got to get that President's Trophy. We got to beat out the Providence Bruin and get the first place team in the AHL for the regular season.
Agreed. Yep, that late in the season when it comes down to the wire, you want that home field advantage when you can get it. So we've had a lot of transactions going around with the Detroit Red Wings, injuries that have occurred. So players have been moving up, players have been moving down. First things first, we'll talk about Carter Mazur being called up to the Detroit Red Wings. That's big news, as the last time he was up there, it didn't go so well for him. He was injured and was out for a long time after that.
Called up for his birthday, matter of fact.
So a present to Carter Mazur, and he got to play in his first full hockey game for the Detroit Red Wings, so congratulations to him. He's played at a ridiculous pace this season for Grand Rapids with 14 games played, 11 goals with 4 assists for 15 points, just above a point per game and a +6. So Steve Yzerman decided it's time. We'll give him the call up, and hopefully he can help contribute to this playoff run for Detroit.
Anybody worried about his injury? He's looked pretty good so far down here in Grand Rapids. He's played more than a handful of games, and he's looked fast, very fast, and looks like he's very healthy right now. So let's just hope he can stay that way.
Then we can talk about Axel Sandin-Pellikka, who has been sent down from the Detroit Red Wings to the Grand Rapids Griffins. Spent a couple games on the bench, not playing, so they decided they'd get him on his skates again for Grand Rapids, the place for some important games down the stretch, and a little bit of a warm-up here as he kind of cooled off after his 63 games played for Detroit.
Yeah, Axel Sandin-Pellikka, essentially a guy penciled in for Grand Rapids, a first-round pick. You think he'd come here and play? No, he goes to Detroit, makes the team off camp because he's looking really good. Plays 63 games with 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points, but mostly offense up there for him. Things are still a little fast. Defensively, he struggled, and we've even seen that down here in GR. He had a -21 there in Detroit, which is not good. So they sent him down, and the pace in the AHL is a little bit slower, so we can kind of get a little bit more chance. He's obviously scored 2 goals already.
Yep.
So really cool to see.
Yeah, in his 3 games played, he's got the 2 goals, he's got an assist, so he's got 3 points. So that's point per game for him so far. He scored on his first shot since coming back down to Grand Rapids. And then he got the game-tying goal in a pressure situation as the third period was running out in the game versus Chicago Saturday night. So big moments for Axel Sandin-Pellikka, big goals, and it was kind of funny. I think he was getting a little cocky out there as he hopped off the ice onto the bench, and there was no bench behind him, so he fell straight to the tunnel floor. So Make sure you keep your head on your shoulders, Pelica. Welcome to Grand Rapids for sure.
Yeah, I was really impressed by him. He does some interesting defensive things, but he'll get over it.
So then followed with ASP was MBM. Michael Brandsegg-Nygard comes down as well. He has played 12 games for Detroit this year. 0 goals, 1 assist, 1 point, and a -5. So still want him kind of developing down here in Grand Rapids. Maybe getting him some game time with ASP because they are familiar with each other from Skellefteå. But 53 games played for Michael Brandsegg-Nygard, 16 goals, 21 assists for 37 points in that top tier for Grand Rapids this year.
Yeah, he's been right in the top 5 in the leaderboards all over the stat boards in Grand Rapids this year. And he's been known as the bull of the China shop. He comes in and plays hard. He's been playing by Dominic Shine a lot, learned some of his game style, and has a wicked shot. And he's just a beast down here. If he's not playing that great up there, he's got a +22 down in Grand Rapids. So let him cook.
Yep, let them cook, let them learn, get these kids developing. We love having these first round picks down here in Grand Rapids, but we know our time is limited. Yeah. So
we get Nate Danielson healthy. Maybe he's ready. Make sure he's good. He could be really good to generate some experience in Detroit. But if we had 3 first round picks down here, plus Kosa, that's just going to be crazy for the playoffs. That's the best experience you can ask for your team, like playing with their future players on the Red Wings, winning something down here in GR. That would be so cool.
On a well-coached team here with Dan Watson. So then we'll talk about Sheldon Dries as well, because he was up on the Red Wings and he was sent back down to the Grand Rapids Griffins. So he played 5 games for some center depth as Dylan Larkin and Andrew Kopp got taken out there. So some important games there for Sheldon Dries, stepping in for the big club, and he's been nothing short of amazing. He got the game-winning goal versus Chicago after Axel Sandin Pelica tied it. So the overtime winner for Sheldon Dries there Saturday night, and he's got 50 games played this year, 21 goals, 19 assists for 40 points. So another 40-point player for Grand Rapids this year.
And this is a guy who's taken over and taken that assistant captain role seriously. Dominic Shine captain's gone. Sheldon Dries, assistant captain, has taken over, and he is making sure that those points are getting scored and making sure we're doing good, and it shows. He wins that in overtime. Looks great. He's riding up in the point boards, passing Shine in most aspects because Shine's been up in Detroit for so long now. So, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So, thanks for keeping everything together down here, Sheldon Dries.
Yep.
So then with the players returning from Detroit to Grand Rapids, some of the players have to go from Grand Rapids to Toledo. And amongst them, we had Alex Doucette getting sent down to the Toledo Walleye, where he's been down there for 2 games. He's gotten 2 assists for 2 points already. So already a point per game in Toledo. Keep that up, as you're a guy that's going to have to be ready to come back up at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I'd tone up your goal scoring down there, because you know it's just a goal scorer. He's really great at scoring goals back in the day when he played for the Moosehead. So hopefully he can get some more goal scoring down here, get more time, because here in Grand Rapids, he's not really getting much of that time. He's more of a 4th line, 3rd line kind of guy.
Yeah, and then we have Carson Bantle being sent down to Toledo Walleye as well. He's got an assist in his 2 games played and a +1 down in Toledo so far. Important contributor for the Griffins in the season so far. So just as same thing with Doucette, a guy that could be called up at a moment's notice if we need a tough guy for sure. If we're in for a physical matchup, don't be surprised if Carson Bantle gets called up for maybe a matchup against Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So, and then last one to Toledo here was Jacob Truscott. He's been a regular for Toledo down there all year with 43 games played. He's got 4 goals, 13 assists. He's got 17 points, and he's been a +6. So one of the most reliable defensemen down there for Toledo on the season. He's got 3 assists for Grand Rapids this year and a +4, so we've noticed him kind of come in and be a legitimate, probably a 7th defenseman here for Grand Rapids, but a couple years stay in the system, we'll see him learn and grow and see that former captain of Michigan maybe become a steady force here in Grand Rapids.
And then in addition to that, we have Michael Pastava getting called up to the Detroit Red Wings. He's been playing great this year. Backing up for Kosa and actually having a better goals against average than Kosa and save percentage, playing less time, but both guys being a tangible duel.
Yeah, just like they did with Kosa too. They're just getting him a chance to go up. Maybe Talbot went down was kind of day to day for a second, and Pastava comes in and just kind of gets a couple reps in at practice, gets some time up with the big club, just like Kosa did earlier. And then we got to mention too, Carter Geilander comes up and does play a game for Grand Rapids here, and an important one against that Cleveland Monsters team, and we end up with a 5-2 win in Cleveland. So good showing again by Carter Geilander as he continues to be another impressive goaltender in the system.
Yep, and Michael Pastava obviously is back already, and Geilander is back already. So.
Yep.
Being released from their PTOs was Judding, DeFore, and Hawkins.
So Hawkins returns to Toledo, DeFore returns to Fort Wayne Comets, and Jackson Judding returns to Kansas City Maverick.
Yep, and now Anton Johansson is going to probably be joining the team.
Yeah, so from Lex Sands in the SHL, Anton Johansson returns from across the east to the Grand Rapids Griffins, being reassigned. So this is good news. A lot of people are calling Anton Johansson the top defensive prospect in the system right now. He's shown a lot, and last year in his short stint with Grand Rapids, we got to see what he was capable of. So a lot of people are excited for his feisty, tall Swedish defenseman to come over here and make an impression in Grand Rapids.
He's entering a really crowded defensive room now at this point. So don't be shocked if you see one of these higher end prospects actually getting assigned down to Toledo or something. I wouldn't think Anton Johansson would be that guy though.
Yeah, and then I think we got to mention Trey Augustine as well. Now that MSU is no longer in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, he could possibly come join the Grand Rapids Griffins, maybe get a game in or two, and possibly be sent down to Toledo. You know, Toledo could use a guy like that, and it's going to be hard for him to steal Michael Pastava's job behind Kosa there.
Yeah, it gets interesting to have that level of goaltending because you also have Carter Geilander down there in Toledo who has been ripping it up as well. So, yeah, going to have to find a place to put Trey Augustine as he's going to need somewhere to play goalie.
So now we'll get into our injury report. We have Nate Danielson, still injured. Hopefully we can get him back soon. Besides that, we've essentially got mostly everyone.
Yeah, I believe they thought Nate Dogg was close to healthy from what I heard from Bob Kaiser, but then he skated at practice and is on a little bit of a setback now. So hopefully he's back soon. Like Connor was saying, it'd be nice to have 3 first-round picks skating around out there with Kosa to back them. So it would be really fun to have all of that talent here in Grand Rapids at once. All righty, we can get into the recent games for Grand Rapids. We'll go back to last Sunday, where March 22nd, Griffins lined up with the Rockford Ice Hogs at BMO Center. It didn't go well for Grand Rapids in this one. So this game kind of got out of hand real quick. Rockford Ice Hogs score 14 seconds in with the wrong Lombardi. They got Kevin Lombardi over there. He scores 2 goals in the first, and then it's 3-0 in the third period. Traumax kind of gets a goal. Griffins pull their goalie and ends up being 4-1. So Traumax with the lone Grand Rapids goal. Not Pastava's best game of the year, but nothing bad. A lot of good saves by Pastava. So 4-1 loss for Grand Rapids here as kind of the slump continues.
Then we'll move on to Tuesday. So March 24th, Grand Rapids Griffins play the rescheduled game against the Milwaukee Admirals that was canceled due to ice conditions. It's Purple Community game. The Griffins lose this one 5-4. A lot of cool things like Carter Mazer coming in, tipping it in from a Antetokounmpo shot.
Yeah, not the best game by Kosa in this one. The Milwaukee Admirals and their physical edge just kind of found ways to get shots in, especially from the point. So it's just weird deflections getting in behind Kosa on this one. Milwaukee Admirals will win this one 5-4.
You got scores from Carter Mazer, Axel Sandine Pellica getting his first goal in his first game on his first shot, and then John Leonard getting his 30th goal of the season, and Austin Watson scoring a goal for the Griffins. But yeah, not the best game for Kosa. 5-4 the final score.
Then the Griffins hop on the bus, travel down the road to Cleveland, where they play the Monsters. Carter Geilander steps in, goalie for this one, with Michael Pastava being up in Detroit, giving Kosa a break. And we get some good old Carter Geilander, and great game by him. Keeps the Cleveland Monsters to 2 goals.
So that's a no-scoring first period, and then the second period, both teams scored twice. Carter Mazer lighting it up 2 times for the Griffins, going on an amazing pace, looking great. And then Edwards Tralmax coming in and scoring a goal in the third, along with Shai Boom, giving the Grand Rapids Griffins a 5-2 lead and winning that one. So great performance by the Grand Rapids Griffins traveling to Cleveland.
That one was on Thursday night. We got one more game from Saturday night where Chicago Wolves come to Grand Rapids. Last time we saw Chicago, it was a 1-0 loss. They came in this game and got 2 goals early, kind of put pressure on the Griffins, seemed to be physically out-competing us. They seemed faster than us. Seemed like the Griffins were just kind of out of it for the first 2 periods of this game.
Yeah, another not so great game by Kosa there too in the first. I feel like both of those goals were kind of weak. One of them kind of fell out of his glove. Not a good show for Kosa there in the first.
Yeah, and then third period, things changed. Kosa steadied up, kind of locked down. Griffin started to pick up a ton of opportunities, started to put all that pressure on. Eventually, things break free, and we get a goal from, a goal from Edwards Tralmax, which put the pressure on Chicago. It made it a 2-1 game. And before you know it, we got a goal from Axel Sandine Pellica to tie the thing at 2.
On the power play, too. So ASB coming through in the power play like advertised. And then we go into overtime. We actually kill a penalty there a little bit in overtime. And then we get our break. We go up and Sheldon Dries. There's a scruffle behind the net. And he gets a nice goal there to win the game. Van Andel erupted in the crowd.
Yeah, I got a shout out to Miftakov, the Chicago goalie in this game. We had a lot of chances early in the game too, but Miftakov just kind of find a way to keep the Griffins out of the net, and it seemed to persist all game until they finally broke free. But even in that overtime period, Griffins were relentlessly shooting on Miftakov until they finally popped one in there.
Yeah, he looked very good.
So something to watch out for, maybe a little something to worry about for the playoffs upcoming. So.
Yeah, and the Griffins are off for the rest of the month until April 1st on a Wednesday. That is not an April Fool's joke.
That should wrap us up for the recent games played. Hopefully some of you were able to catch your time down there at the Van Andel Arena or otherwise in one of the other stadiums. So we can kind of go into the stats and standings for Grand Rapids now. We'll start with the Central Division standings, where the Griffins are clinched for the Central Division Championship, currently with 97 points. which is 24 points above Chicago Wolves, who have 73 points in second place. In third place, we have the Texas Stars with 68 points. In fourth place, we have the Manitoba Moose with 66 points. In fifth place, we have the Milwaukee Admirals with 63 points. In sixth place, we have Rockford IceHogs with 55 points. And in seventh place, we have the Iowa Wild with 52 points. The sixth and seventh place teams will not make the playoffs.
And it's looking like they're about to clinch not making the playoffs here pretty shortly. Unless they really start winning games and Milwaukee really starts losing. But Milwaukee's looked very tough, at least against the Griffins recently. So Milwaukee looking like the team that'll probably make it. And hopefully the Griffins don't end up playing them in the playoffs. So
down here to that last 10 games of the season, you really got to go on a hot streak if you're Rockford or Iowa to try to get out of this. So, but that should wrap us up for the Central Division standings. We'll go on to the Griffins point leaders.
So for the Grand Rapids Griffins, we got our point leaders. In first place, we got John Leonard with 46 points. Second place, we have Sheldon Dries with 40 points. In third place, we have Dominic Shine with 37 points, tied with Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. And then we have in fifth place, Amadeus Lombardi with 36 points.
So for goal leaders for Grand Rapids, John Leonard is on top with 30. In second place, we have Edward Strawmax with 22. We have a tie for third place, both Sheldon Dries and Dominic Shine with 21. And in fifth place, Michael Brandsegg-Nygard as a rookie with 16.
He's looked hungry too, Michael Brandsegg-Nygard. Let's go to assist leaders. We have first place, we have Eric Efsison with 25. Second place, we have Amadeus Lombardi with 24. Third place, we have Michael Brandsegg-Nygard with 21. Fourth place, Sheldon Dries tied with Ante Tuamisto for 19 points.
Eric Gustafson really dishing it out since he's come back to help Grand Rapids. And then for plus minus, leading the way basically all season, we've had William Laugesen at plus 30 now. In second place, we have Dominic Shine with 25, and then tied for third, fourth, and fifth, we got Michael Brandsegg-Nygard, Sheldon Dries, Edward Strawmax with 22, plus 22.
Let's get into the goalies. Michael Pastava is not a qualified goalie yet. He was about like a game away, and then the Red Wings called him up. So he remains unqualified. So in first place, we have Sebastian Kodas with goals against average with 2.24. And then for our unqualified goalies, we have Carter Gallagher with 1.62 and Michael Pastava with a 1.86. So good goals against average for those guys. All of them.
And then for save percentage, we have Sebastian Kosa as the qualified goalie at 0.918. And then we have Carter Gallagher with a 0.942 and Michael Pastava with a 0.932. So that should wrap us up for Griffins news, standings, and stats. We can now get into our DraftKings ad. When we are back, we will get into our hot and cold segment.
DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props, live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, bet $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sports app and use code XXX. That's code XXX to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright 2026 NHL. All rights reserved.
So we are going to do our hot and cold segment. So for hot and cold, we like to pick a player who is hot and a player who is cold or not living to expectation. We like to randomly generate a number, match it with a jersey number, and rate that player on a scale of hot to cold. Kyle, who do you got for hot?
So for hot today, we are going with Edward Strelmax. He's got 4 points in his last 4 games, 3 goals and 1 assist. He's been an important player throughout this struggling stretch. He's kind of one of the players that's been putting in the effort, kind of constantly earning that ice time, and just without a doubt staying on top of all of the stats that we have, goals, points, plus minus, and being a well-rounded player.
Yeah, you got the call up to the Red Wings, got to go do a practice there, and he's played 57 games for us this year here in Grand Rapids. He's got 22 goals, 11 assists, 33 points, and a plus 25. So great addition to this team. Went over and played at the Olympics for Latvia and looked great. Was the best player on their team, and couldn't be happier to have Edward Strelmax playing for the Griffins.
Only seemed to improve since he's been back as well. So just constantly seems to continue to develop. We know he's not the youngest spring chicken anymore, but he is definitely one of those players that the Red Wings were looking to develop. I know he did sign a contract where it looks like he might be out of town this year after this season. Like he'll be back over playing overseas, but
so he's been nice and hot. So Kyle, who is cold?
So for cold, we are actually going to go with Sebastian Cossa. He's been on a little bit of a slump as of late. He's got 56 games total for the Griffins, 25 wins. He's got a 2.24 overall goals against average and a save percentage of .918. Those numbers are great all around.
Staggering number.
Yeah, but the last 5 games, not so much. So in the last 5 games he's played for Grand Rapids this month of March mainly, that is 3.79 goals against average and a 0.861 save percentage. So just a little bit of a dip compared to the normal projection we're seeing out of Cossa here.
Yeah, so hopefully we can get him healthy and back on track before the playoffs start, and we can have him as our number 1 tandem, and then have Pastava there and maybe Trey Augustine in there, possibly too, or Geilander if needed.
Yeah, and some of these numbers are kind of influenced by the amount of players that have kind of joined the team as of late and going up to the Red Wings, and just a lot of the flux and the roster changes does a number to your goalie. So let's keep that in mind as we look at these numbers as well. So we'll hope Sebastian Cossa just kind of cleans it up and is ready for the playoffs.
So we're going to do a random number.
I don't even think we want to do a random number. I just want to talk about Wojciech Stachowiak.
Yeah, I agree. Great addition to this team, I must say.
Yeah, I really like Wojciech Stachowiak so far. He's really put on a show. He's a hard skater. He's fast. He's not a small guy. He's just a really good skater. I'd put him right up there with Valinder about best skater on the team. So instantly kind of making an impact. And I think Griffins fans just got to kind of be happy we got a guy like this over here. Seems to be kind of putting on a show so far. Comes in, gets a 3-point night the other night, and continues his point streak, or starts a point streak by getting a goal against Chicago too. So
yeah, that's awesome. Not every day you get a new guy and he immediately is contributing, especially on like a number 1 team.
So, yes, Stachowiak comes in the Griffins hot already.
Yep, hot. All right, so that should move us on to Griffins earning their wings, and there's no one else to talk about but Carter Mazur. And we kind of went over him earlier, but we're going to kind of breeze over it. It's his birthday, getting called up on his birthday, and he's been playing at a ridiculous pace since being up here. He's got 15 points in 14 games. That's over a point per game here since he's been in Grand Rapids. He didn't score, but there's a lot to look forward with Carter Mazur once you give him more time up there.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll figure out. He's with a lot of those players that he played with down here in Grand Rapids while they were down here. Casper and Albert Johansson, and just he'll find this chemistry. He'll pick it right back up, and I'm sure he'll mesh well with this team. And the fact that he's a Jackson, Michigan native just kind of bodes well for his loyalty for Detroit and what he's going to try to do to make Detroit get into the playoffs. Yeah, so that should do it for this segment. We'll get into the penalty box and wrap this thing up.
Welcome to the penalty box. In this segment, we like to end the episode on a fun note. It's the last segment of every episode. We like to pick the biggest idiot, throw him into the penalty box for a 2-minute minor, 4-minute double minor, 5-minute major, or a game misconduct. Kyle, who are you throwing into the penalty box?
Well, this one's a little bit unfortunate, but after watching the Griffins the other night and their kind of dramatic comeback where they came back, scored 3 goals, and ended up going to overtime and won the game, kind of went home, turned the Red Wings on. As they said, they had the hour later start. The score was 4-0, and as soon as I turned the TV on, they started scoring. Appleton comes down, scores. Brinkett puts one in. Raymond puts one in. Before you know it, it's 4-3. Here I am, post-hockey game. I'm cheering for hockey again, and I'm ready to go. And then it's like 1 minute later, empty net goal, game over. Just kind of sad in this playoff run that, and Red Wings got to get it together if they want to make the playoffs. They got to push it to the end of the season. They can't fall off like this every year. They're doing a number to the fan base. So
yeah, then they're beating Buffalo and getting our hopes up. It's crazy. So yeah,
gotta win.
Not very impressive there.
Just a 2-minute minor here, but
2-minute minor.
Just gotta do this for the fans. We're dying for you.
Yep. So I'm gonna put in the penalty box. So there was the security at the Van Andel. So there was a scuffle, not really a fight, but a disagreement between a Wolves fan and a Griffins fan. The Wolves fan jumped up over the seat and was getting all crazy. And all the Griffins season ticket members were calling down for security. The only one who came down was they sent this small girl down there, like, where are your big guys?
Yeah,
if there's a problem, if that dude was actually going crazy, luckily both of them got to sit down. They talked it out in the concourse and everything was good. But in that situation, it's just like you need to be able to get some bigger guys there faster because that could have got real out of hand, and that girl definitely wouldn't have been able to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she can handle her own and she's been trained or whatever. I don't know. I just think the two big burly men puffing their chests up against each other wasn't really going to get solved by the small woman. So I would have liked to see one of the bigger security guards come down faster for sure.
Yeah, 2-minute minor. Just get it more secure. I go double minor. But they got it handled. They got both fans to handle it, and it seemed like they sat down by each other and everything seemed fine. So good job on that.
Hockey lived on. So
yeah, so that should wrap us up for this episode. The Grand Rapids Griffins are done for the month. They'll be playing on April 1st against the Rockford Ice Hogs, 8 p.m. in Rockford. The Grand Rapids Griffins will travel to Manitoba for a weekend matchup, 2 games Friday and Saturday. So go Griffins.
Go Griffins.
Thank you for listening to the Griffins Pipeline Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, give us a 5-star review. We are part of the Hockey Podcast Network. We are not partnered with the Grand Rapids Griffins, Detroit Red Wings, or Toledo Walleye. We are not experts. We are just die-hard fans looking to make a community with others alike. Let's go Griffins Nation. Join the fun, like, and follow us on Facebook and X, or call into the show and have your opinion heard 1-616-319-1175. Thank you. Grand Rapids Griffins, Toledo Walleye, and Detroit Red Wings. Players, coaches, websites, and social media. Thank you AHL.com, NHL.com, ETL.com, EliteProspects.com, and anyone else putting out information on the teams. Until next time, go Griffins. Go Red Wings, go Walleye.